It's show turn, if you will. Hey, everyone, it's the Facebook community stream.
Hey, sparking lot party.
Adam is over there, Louie's down below, and Abby is in the corner. Can't really point that way. Hello, all. How are we doing?
I'm good. Good.
Yeah.
Can I just say, first of all, it's so nice to see Louis on the stream. I know. Did you have to beg him to be on it, Luke? I know how busy Louis is.
He's so busy, you know. He said, I can probably just make time for it.
We are blessed.
We are blessed. You know who else is with us here? Hey, Tim Arndt. How's it going, Tim? Hey, thanks for joining us. Roy, good morning from the US. I enjoy a nice cup of Earl Grey with sugar and cream from time to time. I'd like to dive into more hot teas. Do you have any suggestions? Do you want sugar and cream with Earl Grey?
You're actually supposed to have Earl Grey without milk. Earl Grey's supposed to be with a slice of lemon.
That's what I thought, yeah.
When I went to America, what I realized is if there is a food, the US will tend to somehow figure out a way to put sugar and or butter on it. So I think that this is where the tea comes. I mean, I don't even drink tea, but I know that you shouldn't have an Earl Grey with cream and sugar.
It is a true fact that the American culinary industry's official motto is "needs more cream." I missed the States. I traveled across it once, and coming back to London and the miserly portion sizes you get in this city. I was thoroughly spoilt by a month in America.
Yeah, we were supposed to be in Boston. Oh, sorry. Go on.
I was going to say, hey, everyone. Pete's here.
Hey,
you're up late.
Hey.
Hello. Shut up. Louis here, and you saying that I'm up late? Come on.
So we were talking, right, Pete? What is your official height?
My official height.
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe the last time I checked. Oh, I'm using the wrong microphone. 2 seconds. That should be better. The last time I checked.
He's stalling.
Okay. I think it was 167 centimeters. So that's what? 5.5? 5'6"?
Ah,
5'6".
We were telling, Luke was telling Louis that you were 5'5", and Louis couldn't believe it because he had the impression you were a tall fella.
Sure.
No,
certainly
taller by my standards.
Certainly taller than Louis, because Louis is also, because you said you're 5'5" as well, right?
I'm 5'5" on a good day if I'm wearing my high heels.
When the planets align.
When he's got his platforms on.
Yeah. When the sun sets perfectly to the east, I'm 5'5".
Well, while we're all asking, Abby, how tall are you?
I think I'm 5'7", but I have this horrendous posture where I'm probably about 5'3". But yeah, 5'7", I think officially.
Say Adam Tallboy over 6 foot. The only person in the stream that is over 6 foot.
I am 6'1", but I don't look it because I have the posture of an 85-year-old.
Oh, tell me about it. Yeah, I actually, as soon as you said that, I suddenly realized how curved my spine was around this chair. Sit up straight a little bit.
You old men, you lot are with your spine and your back problems.
Oh, yeah. Just you wait.
Yeah, those
wait.
old men with spines. God, those guys.
And you eventually grow one.
Seriously, it's like a picture of like yourself when you were a kid. Like, it's incredible that you're born with perfect posture. I mean, obviously, unless you have like back problems. But generally speaking, kids are born with like just the most perfect. Like, they sit exactly bolt upright. It's a learned thing to slouch. It's what the weight of the world. All these responsibilities, right, Louis?
Yeah. Being on streams all day, it's just too much for me.
Yeah.
Asking the North who their favorite wrestlers are. It's
yeah.
That's is that gone live yet? That interview, by the way, boys.
It hasn't. Not
Ooh.
It's next Friday, I believe.
Ooh,
next Friday, the North.
Yay! The North are good.
You've got Slammiversary on the Saturday, so we thought get it out on Friday. Capitalize on those the North searches on YouTube. But yeah, it's a very good interview. It was the first one I'd done with two people. So the first thing I said to them was like, "Oh, how are you guys doing?" and they both just sort of stood there in silence for about 2 seconds, and I was like, and then they both started laughing. And were like, we're being polite. So, but after every question, then I was like, oh, so we'll go to you first, Josh, or we'll go to you first, Ethan. So it worked well. It was actually one of my favorite interviews I've ever done. And Ethan Page has a very, very hot take that I think is going to get some people very riled up. So I won't reveal what that is.
It's quite something. As someone who's literally just watched that interview, it is a hot take. It is very interesting. So yeah, and it is a great interview as well. It's very, very funny. So enjoy that next Friday. We've got an awesome interview going up today as well in like 4 hours. It's gonna be real good. We've got one with Denise Salcedo going up today. We all love Denise, and we've got another really cool interview going up later today. So yeah, in just under 4 hours. Up on WrestleTalk interviews, go subscribe, etc.
Absolutely, yes. Go and subscribe to that. Also, thank you to WrestleTalk Clips for hosting us over on the YouTube. We're there and on Facebook at the moment. And speaking of, we're going to get our plugs in. I'm going to be in the chat for the premiere of the WrestleTalk podcast episode this week with SP3 from True Heel Heat. So that will be at 5 p.m. in about 2 hours' time.
Magic.
You know, you talk about like American food portion sizes. And I went to the States for the first. I went to Florida to go to Disney World. And we went up to a cowboy-themed restaurant. And I can't remember what it was called. Cowboy Jack's or something like that. And we ordered nachos to start. And it literally came out on like a tray that was wheeled out. It was just this like tray trough of nachos with all this cheese and stuff on it. And when we came back from there, we were like, we will go out to TGI Fridays because it's the most American place you can go to in the UK. And we were like, let's get nachos to start, just like we did in that cowboy place. And they brought the plate up, and it had 12 nachos on it in a So we had 12 nachos between 3 people.
Bloody hell.
That's incredible.
There's only one place in the UK that has like proper American-sized nachos. Has anyone here ever been to Edinburgh?
I have not.
Yes.
Awesome. So I used to go all the time with the Fringe, and there is a pub that we lived by on our first year called the Old Hoose, and they do a nacho portion that is literally bigger than like a gigantic bowling ball. Literally, they bring out like a bowl and they pile like a small mountain. They pile it higher with like chili, jalapeno, sour cream, guac, cheese, and like it genuinely 4 people can't finish it. It is, and every time we go up, it's like a statement that we have to do those nachos. Sorry, Pete, I interrupted you.
Oh no, you're all good. I was just going to tell another story. Just speaking of America and things, when I was very young, went on a family holiday to America. Can't remember which one it was. I think we went to Florida or something. But I think I could have only been maybe like 3 or 4 at the time. And we went to a restaurant, and for some reason I was adamant that I really wanted tiramisu for dessert. and my parents were like, "You won't like it. It's got coffee and stuff in it. You can't get it." And I was like, "I want my tiramisu. Mom, I don't think you're understanding. I need my tiramisu in my life." So they eventually caved, got me tiramisu thinking he's going to have one bite, he's going to hate it, and that'll be fine. I cleaned out the whole thing and got drunk off it when I was 3.
So my question is, what was it about because you hadn't tried tiramisu evidently before. What was it about tiramisu that you wanted? Like, have you heard of tiramisu from a friend?
It might have been because it sounds funny. I don't know what it was, but apparently that was like all I wanted in my life at that point was some damn tiramisu, and I got it, and I got a bit drunk / high off coffee, I guess, from the tiramisu when I was 3. Pete,
I've just got a quick update for you. Pete is stinky. That's from
thank you. Nice.
Thanks,
savage.
Appreciate
Love it. Brilliant. Body
Thanks,
G.
love. You know who's really stinky? Her, because she's not had a shower today yet. She's about to. She's in the bathroom right now. How did she even send? Never mind.
Pete,
whatever.
Pete, that's not cool. Don't drag your missus on.
Come on, mate. You're better than that.
Jesus
Christ.
We
expect more from you. I know from a little man, you've got small man syndrome, but come on.
Don't air your dirty laundry in public. That is disgusting. I got drunk
not like you do in the background of Quizlemania.
No, that's true. I don't actually have
clean laundry. That's clean laundry.
hang on.
We don't know that. Could be dirty.
I'll tell an American food story. So we go, I don't want to say most years, but for the past few years, we've been to America in the summer. And they have this rib place called Tony Roma's, where if you go on a Monday, they give you unlimited ribs. So you literally go there with a plate and they just keep bringing them. And I'm not a small bloke. Like, I like my food. What's Pete doing?
Come on, everyone.
Laundry
time.
So I'm told off when my bed's not made and I leave dirty laundry in the corner. But yeah.
Facebook's a different world, mate.
Yeah.
Anything goes in this shit show. I once got drunk as a 6-year-old because my gran ordered the gin and tonic and I ordered a lemonade. And I cleaned that bastard out. And I was just like, that lemonade tasted off. Like, I thought the lemonade had just gone off, but I was just like happy to have it. And yeah, I was just a little bit merry because I was like 5 or 6.
Who did you say was your aunt or your grandma?
Grandma.
Did your grandma not realize she was drinking lemonade?
She'd had a few by that point, mate. That's my lovely gran. She's a booze hound.
Pete Simon says, respect your lady partner, Pete.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, all right.
Good.
Do you have any America stories, Abby?
I don't. I am not lucky enough to have been able to go. So my American experience goes as far as a McDonald's probably, and that's about it.
It's pretty good.
We do have a message for you, though. I'm assuming it's for you anyways, from Misha, who is actually one of a Patreon backer for my other podcasts. But it says, I'm assuming to Abby, follow up from last week. Best kids TV show right now is Number Blocks. Highly educational, a lot of fun. What other shows would have a Death Star trench run pastiche resolved via factors of 12? Its sister show Alpha Blocks is also excellent.
Following the Peppa Pig chat from last week, where I got dragged out in the comments on the WrestleTalk Clip YouTube channel because I apparently don't let my son watch Peppa Pig, but I let him watch The Simpsons. But to clarify, I watch The Simpsons. He doesn't watch The Simpsons. He's 1.5. He doesn't watch anything, really. He just sort of ruins my living room. But no, Alpha Blocks and Number Blocks is a solid choice.
Yeah. Absolutely. And also, The Simpsons has great life lessons. Like, what's wrong with them?
For 1.5
some of them do.
Yeah, some of them do.
Homer's reaction to gay people hasn't aged brilliantly.
No. It was the 90s.
Yes. And like, I remember that marriage episode where Marge just forgives him because it's the end of the episode. We haven't really learned anything. Here's a question, though. From The Simpsons, what is an incorrect thing that you learned from The Simpsons that you thought was true for years because of The Simpsons? And I'll give you guys time to think because I know what mine is. And mine is that I genuinely thought the book Little Women ended, and they realized they weren't just some little girls, they were little women. Because that's what Mo is reading to the prisoners or like the homeless people. Yeah. And I genuinely thought that's how the book ended. I think a lot of people they think Guys and Dolls is a song in Guys and Dolls. Guys and Dolls, you're just a bunch of crazy guys, which is definitely not. But like, I was just wondering if anyone else kind of learned a wrong thing from The Simpsons.
You shouldn't let your dad encourage you to shoot your boss.
True enough. Mm-hmm. Is that the Maggie episode or is that a different one?
Yeah, because that's the only episode I know.
I think I probably thought that Nick Corvello golf was a real thing.
Power drive.
Would you like to play again? You have selected no.
I thought Donald Trump running for president was a good idea.
From The Simpsons.
Well, because he runs in The Simpsons, doesn't he? That'd be cool.
I believe the economy is ruined under his presidency as well.
I can't think of anything.
That's the best.
I'm really struggling.
It's the best I can think of. Very sorry, Adam, because that was an excellent question that deserved a better answer from us.
Yeah.
Speak for yourself.
What else we got here from the chats that we could get? Oh, actually, Tim Arndt, I've actually just started playing Hit and Run for the first time in about a decade. Loving it so far.
Bloody brilliant game, that.
Great Simpsons game.
Best
Awesome.
Simpsons game.
I think it's the only one I've
Yes.
played.
I played Simpsons Road Rage. I've played the wrestling one, which is real bad.
God, it's bad.
I mean, perhaps this is a bit of a basic bitch answer, but surely the arcade game is the best Simpsons game.
Which arcade game?
The original, like the arcade game, the 4-player arcade game.
Was that the
I
one
don't remember that.
Was that the one we played at the thingy in Birmingham? God,
We
I
did when
forget.
we went to Games Expo.
That's the one.
Yeah, we played it at Collectomania.
Is that different to Bart's Nightmare? Because I remember Bart's Nightmare a lot.
Yeah. The Simpsons arcade game is.
Are they fighting?
Awesome. Yeah. It's a scrolling beat 'em up.
Ah, weird.
It's Streets of Rage, but Simpsons.
Yeah. And it's Simpsons 1 and 2 Simpsons as well. So it's like got lots of like really deep cut early references. It's amazing. Michelle, Pete, I'm really wanting a beer. This is really bad timing.
Sort Michelle out with a beer. Come on, Pete.
Come on.
All right, fine. If you want to leave, I get a thing.
It's good. It's like a delivery service.
Michelle is treating Facebook like Deliveroo.
Just have to pay the delivery charge.
Yeah, exactly.
Griffin reviews the Sonic film is the best film this year. There you go, Adam. You liked the Sonic film, didn't you?
Look, I haven't seen the Sonic film. I just wholesale reject your hypothesis that it is the same star rating as The Dark Knight. And I believe everyone else rejects it as well.
No.
And no, I will. The court of popular opinion is a terrible weapon to wield, but I will wield it this time.
Well,
you are objectively wrong.
You're objectively wrong.
No, you're objectively
wrong. Is the Mo Tavern prank the best gag on The Simpsons?
Ooh.
No, because I think the writers got bored of it quite quickly.
You don't see it that much.
Yeah.
What is your favorite Simpsons joke?
I think exactly what my favorite Simpsons joke is. It's from my favorite episode, which is the Last Temptation of Homer, when he has planned to write out what he's going to say to Mindy on his hands, and his hand sweats and it rubs it all off, and he's like, "Murphy, you are an elf." And then a guy walks past, being like, "I'm really tired of these people making jokes about my giant hand. The first such occurrence occurred."
I remember when it's Homer Duffless, I think the episode is called, but he's trying to escape from the power plant. There's two jokes back to back that just properly had to pause the DVD to like finish laughing. One is to overcome the spider's curse, simply quote a Bible verse. And he says, "Thou shalt not." And he just picks up a rock and beans the spider. And it works. And then the next joke is that he's jumping out the window. Barney's parked outside with a mattress on top of his car, and he looks off in the distance and says, "Is that Princess Di?" And he drives off. Homer lands on the ground, and then Barney says, "Nah, it was just a pile of rags." So mean.
Hey, who wants another Michelle update? It's not cold.
Hey, man. She is the one responsible for the temperature of the beers. She put them in the fridge earlier. They've not had enough time to get cold yet, and yet she's asked for one. That's her own
She
fault.
put them right at the back.
I feel like we're couple therapy.
I know, right? What's going on?
Get some of those whiskey ice cubes, the one that don't melt. You know, like those kind of like little balls that you just put in the freezer.
I had one when I was little. It's given me like nostalgia throwback. They were shaped like little fish. I always appreciated that. Another fun thing: if you enjoy wine, freeze some grapes. Put the grapes in the wine.
Hello, mate.
Oh, that's a great shout.
That's not a bad
It
shout.
does work. It also works if you got a dog that gets hot in the summer, but dogs. So my dog just refuses to drink water. So what we do is we freeze blueberries in water. So
Your dog's a Tory.
don't know where this rhetoric has come from. Probably from me saying the word rhetoric 24/7. But he doesn't drink water, so he freezes blueberries. So he has to get through the ice to get into the blueberry.
Can't possibly drink water. Rough.
He's a dog. Oh.
It's so
sorry.
stupid.
I saw a comment that I wanted to post up. Where's it gone? There it is, Jamie Levin. Let's be honest, The Dark Knight isn't that great. Boom, in your face, Adam.
When he said the Bale is
I like the Sonic film. Fine.
fine enough. Fine enough. I could not form an opinion on it. So who is the joint? It says that Bale is the joint worst Batman. Who's the other worst Batman? Because if
Clooney, right?
Or Kilmer, right?
No, I mean Kilmer's he's fine, but I think Clooney's quite bad.
Hot take: Batman Forever is a better film, but Clooney is a better Batman.
Actually, I can get on board with that because I'll go to bat for Batman Forever and a day. And I still think that in this year, 2020, it really is time to reevaluate Batman and Robin. And people need to stop taking it so seriously. It's meant to be a comedy. It's just an unfunny comedy. Its biggest crime is it's bad at being a comedy. But people just want it to be a proper movie, and therefore it's bad. I think it's time we actually watch it as a comedy and appreciate it for being a terrible comedy, because it's really funny for being bad.
Well, tone is cyclical, isn't it? Because that's the thing, is it came out at sort of the height of you sort of coming off the the 90s, everything was at that point it came out everything was supposed to be grungy and serious, because the 90s and leather trench coats and what have you. And then sort of everyone reviled it because it wasn't serious Batman enough. And then obviously Batman Begins came out and everyone was just yes, psychologically interesting. And then psychologically interesting went way too far with all the kind of Zack Snyder, Christopher Nolan, awfulness. And now everyone is just come back round to camp again, just because the everything's terrible and things that are fun are nice again. And that's why Marvel has sort of won the day. Because it's just fun and people like fun again.
And I'm gonna Guardians, Thor Ragnarok, they're funny. I like them. Yeah. And it's fine. Yeah.
I'm also gonna bring up the name of Steve here from Stephen Larson fame, who made the brilliant point that Batman and Robin is better than the Dark Knight trilogy, because at least Batman and Robin plays within its own rules. Batman and Robin establishes a universe and plays within that universe. The Nolan Batman movie is we are real, but also here's Two-Face.
What's right? He's just got half a melted face. Acid burns happen in real life. What? Granted, the half he does have the half suit, which is a bit silly. But
exactly.
He just got burned. That's allowed.
Oh, do you want to hear a really controversial opinion? I think Batman v Superman is great.
Does anyone think that?
Yeah.
Have you seen it, Louis?
Have you seen it?
I was going to say. Come on now. What have we got? I had another Michelle update. Where's it gone?
Oh, no.
Oh, here it is. I've never watched a Batman movie.
That's a shame, but it's also saved you the worst ones. It saved you The Dark Knight Rises, which is a waste of time and life.
Yep.
Hey, you know what? Here's my hot take. Didn't mind Dark Knight Rises.
I really enjoyed Dark Knight Rises.
Thank you.
We've got all the hot takes now.
Yeah. For one particular, I think it was a Christmas, I want to say. I think I was working at a game store that year, and I was working Christmas Eve and Boxing Day. So I couldn't go anywhere for Christmas. I was living by myself at the time, and I was just by myself on Christmas because it was sad. And on it, I bought some ciders and I watched the entire Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy, and I liked it. Okay. It was a good Christmas. Leave me alone.
Did you like it when Commissioner Gordon sent every single police officer in the city into the sewers at the same time?
I didn't say it made sense. I said I liked it. I liked watching it, okay?
Every single one. Sir, there's another another robbery happening across every single
one. Did I stutter?
Trust me, I've just been heavily concussed. Do everything I say.
I mean, also, and the Batman Dark Knight Rises ends with the Batman 66 movie of some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
It's brilliant. I love the Batman 60s movie. I went through a real roller coaster in my life of hating it and loving it, but I fully love it again when they're working out which of the villains are responsible. And that because Batman gets attacked by a rubber shark, which he gets rid of with
shark repellent,
shark repellent bat spray.
Yes.
And he says, "Well, wait a minute. That it was a giant fish, the penguin, and that shark was pulling my leg, the Joker, and it happened at sea. C for Catwoman." Is a legitimate line.
It's such a genius movie. The 66 series is absolutely genius.
Yeah,
it's so good. But Abby, the floor is yours. Can you defend The Dark Knight Rises after me and Adam just made fun of it?
I mean, I feel like it's tough to defend it. I am a lover of terrible movies anyway, but it's not the film as a whole, because like you say, points of it do not make sense at all. But it's the moments, like you can't deny when they're looking at each other, Alfred and Batman, and they do that look at the end. You don't say your heart doesn't have a little, oh, like I'm a sucker for classic storytelling now. And Tom Hardy's in it.
True. He is.
He's good.
And it's Tom Hardy doing his favorite bit of acting, which is wacky voice. I'm pretty certain that Tom Hardy doesn't take on any roles unless he can do a wacky voice.
Have you seen the Tom Hardy movie where it's just him in a car with a bad Welsh accent?
Yes.
It's so weird. And it's like you eventually get used to it, but it's just like it seems like he's learned how to do a Welsh accent by learning like one specific sentence with one specific cadence. And he just literally does the same cadence in every single line. It's so weird. I can't remember what that film's called now, but I saw that at the cinema. That was during my unemployed phase where I saw loads of films at the cinema.
I think I saw that on showing my age a little bit. I think I got that from Love Film.
Oh,
yeah.
A physical disc in the post.
Oh, physical disc in the post. I've still got one.
Did you?
Yeah.
A souvenir from Love Film. What is it?
Yeah, I think it is Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Good movie.
It is a great movie. Actually, do you know what? There was a tweet put up recently I woke up to this morning that someone said, I often forget that we got 3 brilliant Planet of the Apes movies in the last 10 years. And it's true. And it is easy to forget. That trilogy is absolutely flawless. I'm a Planet of the Apes mark anyway. Yeah. I could talk about Conquest all day long, mate. And Escape while we're on it. Lincoln with a little bit of news questions. Has anyone heard the news about Chicken Run 2? They're recasting Ginger because they want a younger voice. Nancy Cartwright's been voicing Bart Simpson for 20 years. Tress MacNeille still doing voices. She's in her 60s. She's older than that, actually. Actually, there's nearly in her 70s.
She's one of those voices that you can just instantly, like, they could be doing the weirdest kind of version of their voice, but it's Tress MacNeille's voice. I was watching Last Airbender, and there's just one bit where Tress MacNeille's playing an old woman. I was like, that's Tress MacNeille. She's just every single where. And also the noise I made, because I didn't know this going in, the noise I made when I found out that the Fire Lord's voiced by Mark Hamill. The greatest voice actor of all time.
He's so good in Last Airbender. He's amazing. God, can we just talk about Last Airbender for ages? I'm
happy to. That. Do not. I'm on the last 4 episodes, so do not spoil it. Yeah.
Okay, I won't say anything then. But God, Last Airbender is like one of my favorite shows of all. I mean, that's why I've got this. It's from Last Airbender.
Oh no way!
Yeah, because it's like one of my favorite shows in ever. It's amazing and I love it. After you watch Airbender, watch Korra as well. It's really good.
Yes, promise. I will be watching Korra.
It's so good.
Go on.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I will also be like my two kind of TV projects for the next, because like lockdown's going to go on a bit longer probably, but I'm going to do Legend of Korra, and I've never actually seen Buffy, so I'm going to do Buffy.
Oof.
Yeah,
Seen Buffy.
never seen Buffy. Weirdly,
We're basically the same age. How did that happen?
I've seen Angel. Somehow, I saw almost all of Angel because I was living with a couple in uni who were rewatching Angel. So I just jumped on like, all the Wolfram and Hart stuff. Like I loved it, but I never saw Buffy. And I just like there's a expansion of a game that I really like coming out, which is basically a fighting game with miniatures, and they're like some of them are like famous characters like Sinbad and Robin Hood and Bigfoot. There's a Buffy expansion coming out in October, and so I want to have Buffy done by then. So I can get like fully excited about it.
I had a poster of Sarah Michelle Gellar on my wall as a teenager.
Bet you did, you little filthy boy. You.
I know, yeah, proper little filthy teenage boy. I had a poster of her next to a poster of the poster of for Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, because that's how cool of a teenager I was.
Your two main kinks.
When did that stop? The whole sort of I'm going to put posters on my wall, or is it just something that my generation, people I'm mixed with, don't do?
Does your do they not?
Can you not see Luke's screen?
Hey, now that's a piece of art. Thank you very much. That's signed by Stan Lee.
Wow. To be fair, that's a wow.
Yeah.
So I've got signed stuff on my wall, but no like posters.
Not that you've got out of the middle fold of a magazine, carefully taken it out and stuck it up.
No,
that you kiss every night before bed.
It's just not something that I don't think my generation do it.
That's a shame, because I was actually I was talking to my wife about this the other day, talking about like, should we ever have a child, that like will they ever be allowed to put posters up in their bedroom? And I was like, well, of course, because you've got to put posters up in your bedroom. That's what part of being a teenager is all about. Like I had my poster of Sarah Michelle Gellar. I had Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. I had Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, because it was Star Wars, and I had to have Star Wars, even though I convinced myself it were good.
Sure.
And in some of my late teen years, I had a poster of Jordan above my bed as well, because again, that's my age.
Sorry, I was just like, Michael Jordan. I was like, oh no.
No, the other Jordan.
Very different Jordan.
A map of Jordan, the country.
Yes, a map of Jordan. Yeah. Before we move on, this is very important. Did Abby ever decide what her favorite film was?
So I had a crisis last week, and I forgot who I was. And I was like, what's my favorite film? What films even exist?
What are films?
Yeah, but I thought about it, and it's definitely Moana.
Ooh, really good film.
I love Moana, but I'm a Disney nerd anyway, so it'd have to be something Disney. I didn't even think about Disney last week. I was just like, oh, what do I answer this question? So yeah, Moana.
Good soundtrack to Moana.
Oh, really good. Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Really, and I will go to bat, because I know a lot of people make fun of The Rock's You're Welcome. It's great.
Good song. Good. So I don't even like music. I don't even like music. Or
how do you not like music? I don't understand you, Louis. How can you not like music?
He likes sounds, just not in any kind of pleasing order. He likes individual notes, but if you put them together, you'll lose his shit.
Yeah.
I only think I like the song because it's The Rock, and Rock does a wrestle. But it was a good song.
So bit of an update. Callum, I've got posters up, and I'm 17. Must just be you, Louis. And Dante, who doesn't have posters on their wall? I'm 18. I've got Lady Gaga, John Waters, and Last House on the Left.
Oh, very nice.
Very nice.
Is that Last House on the Left the movie or the podcast?
Oh. Good question. I'm in my early 20s. I love posters.
Maybe it's just me.
Yeah, this sounds like a Louis problem.
I've just wrongfully assumed that it's a generation.
Well, there we go.
Listen, calm down, guys. We're not getting into this dropping out gimmick.
Bacon Rasher, music is everywhere.
Music here, music there, music everywhere.
Okay, right. Here's No, I'm not going to put that one up. That one says, real hot take, Legend of Korra effing sucks, Pete.
It doesn't. It's not as good as Last Airbender. I'm not going to defend that. But there's some bloody brilliant things in that show. I'm not going to say what they are because Adam hasn't seen it yet, but there's some really good stuff. This season 3's villain is like my favorite villain. Might even be as good as the Fire Lord. Throwing it out there. Just so good. So good. Love Korra. Love Last Airbender. Don't at me.
In for the sake of balance, 14, no posters.
Oof.
It's not just you, Louis, I promise.
Is that about music or posters? That's very important.
Just life.
Yeah.
Everything I stand for.
Here's a great question. Worst Disney film that's not a Pixar one, so you can't say Cars 2.
Damn it.
Black Cauldron? That's pretty boring.
That
Like,
is a big downfall for Disney.
Yeah, and like it's the film that nearly stopped them doing animated films altogether until until Michael Eisner took over, and we're like, wait a minute, we're Disney. We literally invented animated movies. Why are we stopping? Why are we bad at this now?
There's a fantastic documentary about this on Disney Plus, which is called, I think it's the Waking Sleeping Beauty one, and it's just about the story of like the animation department and what they had to do to like revive it essentially and breathe life into it again. It was very interesting.
Are we officially excluding Song of the South?
I think just for the sake of it, yeah. I'm going to bring a very good voice in on this. My mother, who's watching, who says Fantasia.
Oh.
Fantasia is right up its own butt. That's true.
I agree with Mrs. Owen.
I don't know if I'm just
Frozen
biased.
2.
Frozen 2, we watched this recently, and it was I loved the soundtrack, but I thought the story was unnecessary.
And that's really what you don't want from a movie, isn't it? The story was very unnecessary.
It was, but Ollie and I went to watch Frozen 2 together in the cinema, and it was really good. Both of us nearly cried. There you go. Frozen 2. It's great.
I think that's a you and Ollie problem as opposed to
no.
I'm not. I don't know. I cried watching DuckTales this morning.
But you cry watching everything, Luke.
Legit, like I was in here like wiping tears away from my face because Della Duck came home and it was genuinely very emotional.
Does your wife sometimes think you're going through a bit of a midlife crisis? Just walking into the room.
She's just as bad.
I'm an emotional watcher as well. I cry at anything.
Yeah. At Christmas, no, actually, my mum's in the chat. We were watching It's a Wonderful Life, and a very emotional movie. My mum cries every single time we watch that movie, apart from this time where she didn't cry watching it. But then she looked over and saw me and my brother crying, and that made my mum cry.
My boys.
So my dad doesn't cry like at all. The only times I have ever seen him cry are in films where there's like a father-son moment that breaks him. So the first time I ever saw him cry was Men in Black 3. In the cinema.
Wow.
To be fair, Men in Black 3 really underrated. That's
really
good.
Good.
That's a solid movie.
Apparently, I can't remember it because it came out. I think I was like 10 or 11. But there was a father-son scene at some point in it, and my dad was just welling up in the cinema, crying. So anything father-son related, my dad cries at.
That's a shortcut for me in terms of like the stuff that you recognize that you cry at over and over again are messages that have been left behind and only are discovered when someone has died. Just like someone discovering like an old diary of someone who's passed away, or like a letter, like
up.
Yeah, when it's just thanks for the adventure. Thanks for the adventure. Now have one yourself, or something like that. That ruined me. Or genuinely, just like parents telling their children how proud they are of them. It's just the easiest way. Like in The Simpsons. It's something that kind of I can always sort of rely on to get me going is when Homer tells Lisa, "You are my greatest accomplishment and you did it all by yourself." And I actually feel a little slight bit of welling up just saying that out loud because it's so beautiful.
It's very
Tell you
nice,
what, speaking of crying at things, and related to something we were talking about earlier, there's an episode of The Last Airbender that will always make me cry forever and always. It's an episode you've already seen, The Tales of Ba Sing Se.
Yeah.
Adam, Oh
Just
my
that
god!
in honor of just that bit where it says "in honor of Mako." It's just
in honor of Mako. Like the voice actor for a character had passed away during the show. He voiced it for the first season and a half, and then in the second season they had a different voice actor come on to replace him. He had the character that Mako used to voice was going through this. So it's basically like a filler episode, but it's the most emotional filler episode you'll ever see in your life. And he goes through this whole thing and he's trying to make everyone happy. And then he just sits down at the end and it's the anniversary of the day his son died. And he puts on like incense and he starts singing a song that he sung to a child earlier to calm them down and stop them crying, that he used to sing to his son when he came home. And then he starts crying and then it comes up in honor of Mako. It's like, oh my God, just so many layers in it. And I just go every single time. It's amazing. It's beautiful.
Have any of you guys cried in a sort of wrestling, watching something to do with wrestling, like a match or a promo?
Yes, I have. Yeah, totally.
What one?
Bailey winning the title.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's really good.
Mine was Roman's leukemia announcement because
I
was tired and it was like 1 a.m. and I was just an emotional mess, just crying.
You don't have to have an excuse for it, mate. It's fine to.
the Conor Mahalik video package for the Hall of Fame at Wrestle. I think it was 31. He got inducted.
Yeah.
Whenever that comes on, or whenever we rewatch Mania 31 and that video package comes on, and my brother, who is possibly the most heartless person I've ever met, also gets very emotional when he watches that. So you can tell that one tugged on the heartstrings.
It's all about Daniel Bryan. The monster video when I first saw that, and it's just it's a shot where Triple H is just standing there in the ring and you just hear the yes chants and like the music kind of dives out and you just hear it swelling behind him. Like I always cry at that. And just I mean obviously Daniel Bryan's retirement when he just says the word is grateful, and it's just like
I'll say Edge's retirement on top of that as well. When he started, just Edge in general, like when he came back at Royal Rumble as well, you could see like the same kind of expression in his face where it's just like, you can see he's really trying to hold the emotion back. And then that makes me emotional because I can see the emotion that he's just passed the emotion off to me instead. That always gets me.
We've got this from B Dazzle. Are they even paying attention to the YouTube chat?
We're just sobbing and holding each other.
We're literally just filming a chat between work colleagues.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
This is just like a night at the pub, except we're not at the pub, nor do we have alcohol. But,
got a few other people saying like the Eddie tribute show.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, like the Owen Hart one's really sad as well. Taker retiring the first time round. I mean Tim Hunt. Who was Simon? Undertaker striptease after Roman Reigns.
But it was like he clothed and then declothed.
Yes.
Yeah. Really
symbolic. It was very symbolic. Most disappointing movie you've ever seen in theatre?
Avatar.
Good answer, but I had fairly low expectations going in. I think Daredevil, because he's my fave, and I wanted the movie to be good, and it's not.
Dark Knight Rises generally up there. Like I had such high hopes for it after Dark Knight, a more than 3-star movie.
Age of Ultron for me, I think.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Because I was so pumped because I really loved. I saw Winter Soldier in cinemas. I think I even saw Thor 2 in cinemas, and I thought it was okay. Didn't have huge expectation for Thor 2 anyway. But seeing Age of Ultron, I was like, it's the second Avengers movie. Avengers is amazing. It's a culmination. It's going to be, Ultron. The trailers look amazing. I went to it and I was like, it was okay.
Luke, you were probably old enough to maybe experience this with me, but Matrix Revolutions.
Yeah, totally.
Or is it Matrix Reloaded? Which one was
Reloaded? Reloaded the second. Then it's or is it? Yeah, whatever order it goes in.
Yeah,
but before we do, Griffin reviews. This all got too serious. Go back to Pete's partner jokes. So me and my brother and our friend Alex went to go see Matrix. I think it's Reloaded as the second one. Reloaded as the second one. We went to go see that at a midnight screening because we were so excited for it. And I remember nearly falling asleep during the scene with the Colonel, when he's talking to Colonel Sanders in the room with all the TV monitors. And just coming out of it. And I had the exact same thing with episode 1. which is, and I actually, fun enough, Age of Ultron, where I just convinced myself it was good and I liked it. Like I came out of episode 1, me and my brother came out of it, and we were like, no, it was good. Yeah, no, really. You know what? Yeah, it was. I really liked it. Yeah, it was really good. I really like these bits. But in the back of your mind, you're like, And I saw episode 1 5 times in the cinema because I was trying to convince myself that I did like. Oh, do you know, the problem was I was too excited. That's why I didn't like it as much. And now I can go and watch it again and I'll be fine. And yeah, I saw it like 5 times. In fairness, 2 of those to look out for the Easter eggs, because we then got told that ETs and Chewbacca's are in the Wookiees are in the movies. So I had to go back and pay for another ticket so I can go see that Easter egg.
Of course, worth it.
Yes, it wasn't. Hang on. Luke is going to hate me. The worst movie is Super Mario Brothers. Get out, Simon.
I've actually seen that movie. I have seen that movie, and it wasn't great.
It's not great. I'm going to use this to plug. What's your podcast called? Under Consultation, an episode by episode podcast guide through the UK's greatest video game challenge TV show, Games Master. Am I the only person here who's seen Games Master?
Oh, I saw Games Master, but I like it wasn't something that I actually didn't get like into games properly until like N64. Like my sister had a Mega Drive, and I used to just play on that occasionally. But N64 was like the first time I properly got into it, and I even was Games Master on then, or had I missed it? You missed it.
So it went from 92 to about 98.
Oh, so maybe not sure, but I just never. It's all like the Crystal Maze back then.
What was your guys' first console and first game that you remember vividly playing?
Super Mario 64. First game I remember playing is completely different, but like in terms of first like console, N64, and obviously Super Mario was the first one on that.
I had a Commodore 64.
Wow.
I used to play Fire Ants on that, but that was technically my brother's. So my first console that was like mine was my Mega Drive, and Sonic was the game that I got with it. I got Sonic, Castle Illusion, Tasmania, and then we went on Boxing Day to the Virgin Megastore in Reading to spend my Christmas money, and I bought Quackshot starring Donald Duck.
I remember being obsessed with my Game Gear. I had a Game Gear, and like the game I was most obsessed with on that was the Power Rangers fighting game, because I loved Power Rangers when I was a kid.
Hell yeah!
I mean, who didn't, mate?
My
Probably
first.
Louis.
No, I loved Power Rangers. I had an outfit. I dressed up. I was
yeah.
Wait, what were they by the time that you liked them? Were they the like Dinosaur Challenge Space Power Rangers?
Yeah. I think so. My first was the Tony Hawk skater game. So I am very much looking forward to
I'm
September.
sorry, hold on. The Tony Hawk skater game.
I was 4 when I first played it. I had a PS2. My dad played it, and I was like, I'll play it. What Tony Hawk Skater Pro Darby Allin 3, whatever they call it.
There's a guy that came into when I was working at Game Station that once said, "Hey, have you got that Tom Hanks skateboarding?"
I would pay a significant amount of money for a Tom Hanks skateboarding game.
Because we said like it could just be all of his characters. So you could be like Forrest Gump, Woody, the lad from Castaway,
that lad
the guy
from Big.
Yeah, who's like was really good as a kid, but like as an adult, whoa.
Yeah,
Oh man, my first console, I think. Well, I mean, we had an Atari and we had a Sega Saturn that I used to play when I was younger. But the first one that I really got into was PS1, I think. And we had a ton of games. That load of Spyro and Gran Turismo and all sorts of stuff. It was great.
Nice.
Yeah, mine was a PlayStation 1, and the only game I remember really vividly was this Rugrats game, and I can't remember for the life of me what it was called, but I think it was about Angelica, and it was like basically a game full of mini games, and you had to like catch cookies and things, and it was fantastic.
Yeah.
They're called Rugrats Search for Reptar.
No,
That
I don't
sounds
think it was
familiar,
that. I'm sure it was something to do with Angelica. I see the investigating going on there.
Or this might be, I don't know about this one, but have any of you guys ever played TEW? So what are your greatest memories? I didn't play TEW, but I did play EWR, which was like the version before it. And I attributed it to why I did not do very well at university. because I spent more time booking TNA and making them the biggest wrestling company in the world than I did my actual studies.
That's I'm as a university student. That's why I'm going to fail my degree.
Abby, I believe the game you had was Rugrats : Totally Angelica.
That sounds more like it. Yeah.
Plot. The game starts off with Angelica Pickles becoming the proud owner of a brand new Cynthia Dream Mall fashion show queen set. After opening the box, she says loudly, "Hey, it's broken. Those mailmen need to be more careful. Now how am I going to play mall fashion show queen?" After thinking about it, she says, "I know. I'll be the star."
But she's got a new hat.
But she got a new hat. God damn it, you beat me to it, Luke.
Sorry, I thought Louis was still. I thought we interrupted Louis' story for a second. Then
you did a little bit, but it's fine.
Sorry, Louis. I was just so excited to find Rugrats Totally Angelica.
So I tried to on TW make. So TW is a lot more sort of fiddly and hard than EWR. So EWR is like a good gateway into if you want to do sort of like booking games. I think I even suggested this to Adam once to do on the channel. I thought it would be quite interesting. But my favorite thing was I main evented WrestleMania with Walter and Drew McIntyre. And it was received very well and not crapped on, because the game is normally like if you do a show in America that doesn't have an American, it's like, no, we don't like this. We can't chant USA at some point.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the best memory for me. And also, Finn Balor blew up in my save. He just blew up.
What, as in exploded?
So I got a news article, like a news thing saying like, oh, unfortunately, it was Fergal Devitt at the time. Like Fergal Devitt has unfortunately passed away after blowing up in a car.
Okay.
Did Donald Trump call you up to ask if he was okay? Because he did that for Vince McMahon.
I've blocked his number, so I wouldn't know. But
I was like, I don't put it out because I try not to be too political into it because people get really mad about it. But I do have often things like, remember that guy that called up WWE when Vince McMahon's limo blew up to ask if he could do anything, and that man is the president.
It's still real to him, damn it.
Yeah.
Do any of you watch Snooker? Hi, Michelle.
What happened? I missed it.
She's just run in a towel to attempt to get the laundry from the other side of the room that I now moved to here.
Oh no.
I'll be back in a minute, guys.
Hold on.
I'll be back in a jiffy.
So, does anyone watch Snooker? No. Sorry, can't help you there, my friend.
Ollie's your snooker man, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Ollie goes through phases of sports, though. Like there was a period of time like last year where he was massively into football for like a week or so.
He went to a few games, didn't he?
He went to a few games, yeah, for like a local team. So he was massively into football for basically a handful of weeks. He is a man of fads. He bloody loves a fad, whether it's a new supplement that he's taking, whether it's backless chairs. He's a man of many, many fads that he'll do for a bit, then get bored of.
He must love a shopping channel.
Oh, I would have thought so, yeah. Question for Adam. If you had free choice, who would be your favorite guest for Quizlemania?
Ooh. I mean, I really, really would love like an all OSW Quizlemania. That would be fun. Just have all three lads on the show. I'm a big OSW fan. I mean, obviously, like in terms of like what it would do for Quizlemania, like Adam Cole would be pretty good. Or maybe just an all Adam Quizlemania. Adam Cole, Adam Copeland. There are a couple of other wrestling Adams, right?
I think so.
Adam Bomb, is he one?
Yeah, Adam Bomb is one, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure you can find some other Adams. Oh, hi, Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
It said hi.
Hi.
Bye.
Oh, we're pets.
It's not even close.
It's so close. What are you talking about? Okay, right. I think we're going to bring this to an end. I'm just trying to find a good question for us to end on.
I feel bad. We've hardly answered any questions. We've just been chatting amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
I feel like we've answered loads.
Yeah, we've done all right.
Yeah. What we got? Krog was one of my first games. Thanks, Michelle.
Thanks.
How's she texting doing the laundry at the same time?
It's quite impressive, honestly.
It is impressive. Yeah, there's no real good questions coming in at the end here, though. I was trying to find a really good one for us to just
I think
end
I saw
on.
one. I don't know.
Oh, that's a pretty good one.
Okay.
Have you seen the Mr. Juicebox one, Luke?
I have not.
That's the one I was going to go to.
What do you think is the most overrated match?
I think it's the WrestleMania 12 Iron Man match. It's really dull.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. I think it's actually quite pants.
Royal Rumble 92.
Ooh,
that's a spicy hot take.
Them's fighting words. Bobby Heenan throughout the entire thing, just like, he keeps the wheels ticking. I love that match.
I think it's got a good story for one person through the whole thing. There's 29 other people in there. It's a bit pants apart from that one person. So.
Louis?
I don't want to say mine.
Is it an AEW one?
It's probably Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada, the best match ever, right?
It's Cody Rhodes versus Dustin Rhodes.
Come on now.
It was good.
That's a dumber take than Pete.
It was good. It was very, very good. It's just not the history-making, tear-jerking match that everyone thought it was up to. It just wasn't that good for me. Wrestling's subjective. I'm allowed to not like it. Oh no. I've just turned heel. Oh no.
Oh dear.
Oh man.
Amazing.
Oh, very good. Abby, do you have anything hotter than
Abby, say Okada versus Omega and shit. Say it,
I'm
please.
not saving you from this.
Keep up with me.
To be honest, I'm not going to waste time trying to think of one, because if I thought it was underrated, then I've forgotten about it. I've just wiped it from my memory. I'll remember things that I enjoy rather than stuff I thought was a bit pants, because I have too many things to think about to remember.
in the WrestleTalk podcast today? One of our Patreon mailbag questions is someone who messaged in to say that the Money in the Bank 2011 match between Punk and Cena is overrated.
Watched it last night.
But like the argument that they make in there is that they weren't watching wrestling at the time, so they're just watching it as a match, and it's quite a botchy match. Like it's quite a
botchy match.
So I watched it last night with my brother, who's 12, who doesn't watch wrestling. He does, but doesn't follow it. Just like if me and my other brother are watching it, he'll sit and watch. So he was like, "What are some great matches that like had the hot crowd?" So we were like, "Okay, we'll show you that one," because the crowd doesn't get much hotter than that. When Cena comes out and they're hissing and booing, I do think the crowd massively helps with the match, to the point where if it was anywhere else but Chicago, it might not have been as good as it was. But I think they had the crowd in the palm of their hands. Like, you can't not love that match.
I would say it's not just the crowd; it's also the story going in.
Yeah,
like it was the perfect combination of everything, really.
Yeah, but I think the fact that he's obviously from Chicago, Punk massively helps, and obviously being the hometown boy and Cena being who Cena is. Like, if the champion was anyone else, I think just the fact that Cena, the company's sort of boy, really helped that match. So no, I would have to disagree with that one.
Very lastly, will you marry me, Pete?
Yeah, right. Are you sure that's not Pet with an E at the end?
Should have shown them Cody versus Dustin instead. Instant fan.
He doesn't want to watch an old man bleed out in the middle of the ring. You know what? I'm going to embrace this. There was too much blood.
Oh man!
Right. Thank you all so much for joining us for this very, very fun weekly stream. We'll see you again next week. Have a nice weekend, everyone. Check out WrestleTalk interviews in a few hours. We've got a lovely chat with me, Salcedo, and the WrestleTalk podcast is going to be premiering in about an hour's time. Me and True Heel Heat are going to be in the podcast chat. So come join us there. It's going to be a lot of fun. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Have a good weekend.
Bye.